Night 2 in Vancouver, the last Saturday night of the Eras Tour, the second to last night of the Eras Tour ever. And I was really hoping that my co-host would be here to talk about it with me.
I guess that's a good thing that I am here.
She made it!
Popped up out of nowhere. Like Taylor at the beginning of the Eras Tour just pops up.
Welcome to Hits Different.
Lee hee hee. I'm Ryan and that's Molly. And obviously no snow could stop me from making it here for night 2 of the Eras Tour. And obviously we've got to talk about it.
So much to talk about, but before we get to that, we have to say a big thank you because we just crossed 25,000 subscribers tonight. That was our goal. We wanted to cross 25,000 by the end of the Eras Tour by December 8th, which is today. There is so much to clown about for December 8th. We'll get to that in a second. Thank you for being on this journey with us. We literally could have never imagined this when we started the channel, that we would get to this number in December.
I know. I can't believe we're here. And we also want to give a huge shout out to Amir Shah, who most of y'all have probably seen on our channel. He promoted the hell out of us tonight on his live stream, and we got to watch us cross that 25K threshold on his live stream. And he also hit 100K tonight. So
snaps all around for the Swifties. You guys are the freaking best. And if you are used to seeing the recap style content that you've come to look for on our channel over the last year, that includes clips from the Eras Tour of Taylor and the crowd and all the things that happened in the show, that content can no longer live here on YouTube. We did a video explaining the whole situation that will be linked to in the description of this episode. And if you want to see the Vancouver recaps or any of the other recaps from the Eras Tour, you can join our Patreon. That link will also be available in the description of this episode.
So first off, obviously we've got to talk about that. The camera folks were back on the stage tonight, full force. If it's feeling a little bit like deja vu, or, you know, here we go again.
Oh, here we go again. Yeah, did not expect them to be on stage again.
Yeah, which also meant that we also saw the same outfits. Mastermind points have never been higher for the majority of people that played tonight and picked up what Taylor was putting down.
Or lower if you thought she would mix up her outfits, because yeah, she did not. She rewore
not one outfit. Not one.
Literally all outfits were the same. Listen, we understand why. If Taylor's filming something, she wants that continuity. We talked about it in the night 1 Vancouver reaction video that we did. I will say that a lot of people, Ryan included, were a little sad once they realized that that was happening, because the outfit guessing is very exciting for us.
And, you know, some of us thought she would at least change up the 1989 outfit because, you know, forever ago, Taylor Nation teased that there were X amount of outfits left, which alluded to the never-ending spoken about all green, yellow and green outfits that, guess what? One of those, maybe both, we will never ever see.
R.I.P. That just reminded me of sanctimoniously performing soliloquies I'll never see.
Wow. Yup.
Thinking it can change the beat of my heart when he touches me. I'm wearing gold and red for Travis.
You thought you would see all green.
That was better.
That was good.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, just freaking ad-libbing. It also reminds me of the video we did for when we said R.I.P. to all the songs she cut.
Yeah.
This is the closest I've felt if I could relate to how I'm feeling right now. That is it. When we had to say R.I.P. to Tolerate It and all the other songs we lost, I think we need a memorial video. I don't know. Does that count when the Eras Tour is over? I don't know. It feels like we need to have a memorial.
If we don't get the green.
We're obviously not getting both unless she's just like, haha, she has like all green and pulls off the yellow. I don't know. Like does some kind of
that. And then the all gold Tortured Poets. If we don't get whatever ones we don't get, we will do a memorial for tomorrow.
We will go in the backyard with the snow and we will plant something, a little RIP forever.
If you didn't see our video after Paris Night 1, when we realized certain songs had been removed from the set list, like Ryan was just talking about. We will also link to that in the description of this episode because it was so hilarious. It was some of our best work, but we know that so many of you have joined our channel since then, so you probably did not see it.
And it was a similar feeling again because we're on the high of like, oh my God, we got Tortured Poets. Like, we're like, this is insane. And then, but we're also like, wait, like leading up to the Tortured Poets set, you're like, excuse me?
Long live
Yeah.
Archer?
So like the TTB obviously made up for it, but it still lives rent free in my heart.
So that's kind of how this feels. It's like the Eras Tour is ending. We want to appreciate every moment. Taylor said on stage tonight that she has been doing this tour in some capacity for 3 years because of all of the planning. And then she's been on tour for 1 year and 8 months is what she said tonight. That is crazy. So we are for sure mourning the loss of the Eras Tour. We're mourning the loss of some outfits that we may never get. But we also want to celebrate that it is the end of an amazing era.
Yeah. And tomorrow will really sink in. I think it hasn't really sunk in. It's like there hasn't really been anything really suspicious, especially with the double nights. So it's like it doesn't feel real. It feels just like a normal weekend, and like the end isn't tomorrow or today.
Right. Yeah. Outside of the cameras and all the outfits being the same, there hasn't been a whole lot of sus things until we got to the surprise songs. That at first we were like, is she gonna sing Haunted?
I know, as a joke, and I'm like, we've never done that, obviously. But at that point, it felt like
even in LA when she was recording all 3 nights and we're all the same outfits all 3 nights, she did mix up the surprise songs. And don't worry, in case you didn't know, she mixed up the surprise song. She did not repeat night 1.
That would be insane.
I was not expecting for her to bring out Gracie
again. I love you. I'm sorry.
I know. We were watching Amir's live stream before the show, and Ryan was getting ready, and I was watching it, and I told her Gracie played I Miss You, I'm Sorry in her opening set. And that's not usually on her set list. She gave a little speech, she played it on piano, and then she didn't play I Love You, I'm Sorry. And everyone was like, oh, interesting, she replaced it. But I still didn't connect the dots then that she might come out and sing.
Didn't she give the Taylor speech before she played I Miss You, I'm Sorry? Mm-hmm. That was the sus Easter egg that we didn't know because we thought she was about to play Us. Mm-hmm. And because she gave like the sweet Taylor speech and how grateful she is. And then she played that song and it was like, that's not Us.
Yeah.
That's not normally. She is the Easter egg. I feel like I love how she always switches things around. And sometimes it like leads to like, oh yeah. Like when she didn't play Us, the last time she was on stage, it's like, oh yeah, this was like way more sus. This was like, ooh.
Well, the Us thing sneaky. I actually feel like was the most sus because everyone was like, I can't believe she wouldn't sing Us. And then Taylor brought her out.
I had a feeling.
You had a feeling when she didn't sing it?
Yeah, because at least that's their song. Tonight was like totally left field of like, who knows, maybe she's just like changing it up.
Yeah, she does change her set list every night, usually one song. She's been kind of rotating some of the deluxe tracks. But anyway, Taylor gave the sweetest speech about how the tour has made everyone feel like family and, you know, her close friends, and those are the people that you want on stage with you and how special it is. And it was just so sweet. Gracie was really emotional just in her opening set. She seemed to be emotional again when Taylor brought her back out. Back in the summer of 2023, they sang I Miss You, I'm Sorry together because Gracie's set got canceled due to rain at one of the shows. And so Taylor brought her back out during the surprise songs. They played I Miss You, I'm Sorry on piano. So the fact that they now sang I Love You, I'm Sorry, like the sequel on guitar was so good.
Full circle moment. And obviously Molly said it was sus, which it was sus because she also said before Gracie came out, like, this is the last time I'm going to be able to bring her out. And it was like, I'm sorry, where is she going to be tomorrow?
Right?
And like, obviously the rational side of Molly, who always brings in the rationale, which sadly is often correct. She probably didn't mean it in that way. Like the last time, like I can't do it. Just like, I'm not going to. Like, I'm not going to bring her out tomorrow. So it's like, okay, Taylor, you really shouldn't have teed it up like that because we are on high alert.
So many things to say about that. But it will involve moving on to the next surprise song. So before we do, I do want to also say that they mashed it up with Last Kiss from Speak Now.
Sorry, we got very distracted.
Yes. And those two songs work together so well.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of Speak Now surprise songs this final weekend.
So
Didn't think that was going to
many.
happen.
Yeah, I haven't connected the clown dots for that. People have tied it to just like, that's one of the re-releases she's announced on tour. She also has had a lot of 1989. I feel like these last X number of shows, same thing. Another one she re-released on tour. Doesn't mean anything. Who knows?
Yeah. People were saying after night one that she sang a Speak Now song and a 1989 song mashed up together, and that maybe that was an Easter egg about the re-releases that she's announced on tour, but then that theory went out the window tonight. So the other interesting thing about the Speak Now songs so far from this weekend is that she played Never Grow Up on night one in Vancouver. That was night one in Kansas City back in 2023. And then she played Last Kiss night two, which was also night two in Kansas City in 2023.
She also has only played Last Kiss outside of tonight on the two nights that have the lyric, or like in reference to the lyric, July 9th. So she did it July 9th this year, July 8th last year. So I was like, why are we pointing to July 9th? That's where my clowning went. Because I'm like, you kept it on purpose and then you just like, whoop, threw it in there.
Yeah, I told Ryan, I think it's just because it worked well with the song. But
I was like, she has a very large discography.
She wants to clown about July 9th. So there's that.
To be fair, the Speak Now 1989 mashup we got night one in Vancouver last night, people said the track numbers were 8 and 12. So,
Oh, the piano mashup. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So it did technically still mean something that
December
we haven't
8th.
seen.
Yeah. Circling back to what we were saying before I went into the whole Last Kiss tangent is that when Taylor said the sus thing about this is the last night that we could bring Gracie out, which again, it just doesn't really make sense because technically there's one more night. I saw people saying like, our surprise song is canceled tomorrow. Like, what's going on? Then on piano, it was strange. She gave Gracie 2 hugs. The crowd goes crazy. Usually she takes a beat.
A dramatic
after a guest joins, but she sat down at that freaking piano.
And there was no tee up. It was boom song.
Boom. You left your typewriter at my apartment. She started to play the Tortured Poets Department, which, as you noted on night one, you were surprised she didn't play a song from TTPD.
Yeah, but I was not clowning or looking for that song. I was like, yeah, that's a choice. And then it made sense because then she just... with Maroon, one more time.
One more time. Maroon, one of the most played surprise songs on the Eras tour. Amir had been clowning for You're On Your Own Kid and Maroon to be mashed up together because they're the top 2 played songs. So even like after she had already gone from TTPD into Maroon, we were like,
well, because
You're
then
on Your Own Kid.
The other sus thing she said, at least it felt sus, because again, I feel like after all night of being the same, it's like you're looking for literally breadcrumbs. She was like, she's playing Maroon, and then she's like, all right, gonna do this like one more time. And she just meant the bridge of Maroon. But I'm thinking, oh my God, it's going to be You're On Your Own Kid. Like, we all know she's done that 1,000 times. It's happening. No, it's just the bridge,
but
guys.
She's also done the Maroon bridge 1,000 times.
I know.
So
and I was
really
like, why do we need to call attention to this?
Yeah.
And she said it in such a like matter-of-fact way of like, I don't know. It was the vibe was very either suspicious or just I don't know.
Yeah. So those were the 2 sus things I was trying to connect. The whole Gracie, this is the last time we can do this.
Last time
and
twice.
Then this is the last time.
Twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 surprise song mashups calling out this is the last time.
Right.
The night before the actual last time of the Eras tour, which is, it's like everything's the last time, Taylor. It's like technically up until now, she could have said that about last night's songs. Like, guys, it's the last time I'm playing Haunted. Right. It's like, but you didn't, because we know it's the last time.
And she has played Haunted a lot too, but I think she was playing into the probably like the running joke of the fact that we all know Taylor loves to play Maroon, but
she's so intentional. The coincidence, it seemed, I don't know, it seemed suspicious.
Yeah, and I can't believe that neither of us
make it make sense.
Put Maroon in our predictions for the weekend.
Me,
so
Molly,
bad.
and Amir are all O for
No, he said maroon. Well, I forget which night it was, but I'm just
yeah.
talking in general.
In general.
Like you and I,
Right.
she has not played a single song that you and I put in any of our
Yeah, we're
predictions.
0
He at
for
least
8.
got maroon.
We're 0 for 8. He's 1 for 8. So he's doing better than us. I clowned for Christmas Tree Farm again tonight. Not only because that's the night I picked, but also Taylor Nation happened to find some fans who were dressed up as Christmas trees earlier, then called it out. We're like, it's Christmas Tree Farm. I was like, how dare you? You know that's what we want.
They called out a bunch of other songs
Yeah,
too.
but
You're just selectively picking out their tweets.
They knew what they were doing.
So the last sus thing, I guess, it's not really sus. Some people have been wondering, what's she counting down to? And I literally laughed out loud at Ryan because she seemed surprised that Taylor went, except when I'm on TV.
No. I got it right this time. It was so simple. 2, 1. Okay, to be fair, Molly's a very literal person. I wasn't literally like, what is she counting down to? I guess I was just like, what was the point? Because I was like, she has been doing this countdown the last now 5 shows. And it's like, it always felt like it was intentional, right? That Midnight Rain spot has become one of the many look at spots of what's she going to do? Oh, she's going to do a touchdown. She's going to do whatever. And then when she started the countdown, I was like, oh, watch out. Numbers. Here we go. And then last night, when again, she did the 4, 3, 2. I mean, I know this is, Molly and I talked about this off camera, and I was like, I know this is the clown's fault for we did this, not her, but it feels personal.
You're like, it has to mean something else. I'm like, no.
I'm like, we know it's the last night, Taylor. We know we know this is the last time you're going to play Maroon. We know this is the last night. And I'm like, why you got to tell us what is going on? And maybe something is going on. I mean, we will see very soon.
The big question is tomorrow, night 3 in Vancouver. I guess it'll be today, the time you're watching this, because it's almost 4 a.m. So on the final night, will Taylor go 0?
I hope not.
Or will she do something else? Will she go back to one of her will she repeat all of her outfits again tomorrow?
So the irrational, unrealistic person, there's been rumors that are probably most definitely not true about this extra hour of the show tomorrow. There is no truth in any of that. I'm going to clown in that arena and say that she's not going to record tomorrow, or if she does, it won't affect the outfits. And I feel like the outfits beyond meaning an announcement have just become such a part of the Eras tour, a fun way of Taylor communicating with us, thinking about 1989 TV, or just new bodysuit, new this, whatever. And it's been such a thing.
The rep bodysuit.
And it's it makes me just really sad.
Yeah, I feel like it's either all going to be different tomorrow or obviously the same.
I can't.
The final thing I wanted to share with you that I started to see as to why there might have been cameras on the stage tonight is that what if they're practicing for a live stream tomorrow? They're obviously gathering footage and shooting footage either way. But what if they're blocking for the live stream?
Is it because, did you have that thought? Because we noticed when watching the live stream tonight that a lot of the screens were taking the same cameras that she was using, which we mentioned before, maybe on the pod, about how it felt like that was going to be a thing that they were going to live stream. And so, yeah, I mean, that's definitely suspicious because there's no need for that when clearly we've all been out here doing it on our own. But obviously we know that their quality will be assumedly incredible.
You won't have to deal with
does that mean
shaky?
I guess that is kind of crazy, to not have a grainy live stream for the final night.
You could have a high quality, good audio.
It's like the Eras tour at home IRL. Well, not IRL, but
in real
time. Yeah, IRT.
And then if an announcement happens, because what did Taylor Nation always do when there is an announcement? They would go live during surprise songs, but they might just be live for the whole show.
Okay. I like that.
And you may remember that over the summer they practiced on YouTube.
Yes.
They went live during Paramore's opening set in Europe. They were live for 20 minutes or something.
Freaked us
out.
And
then it was gone. Never heard of it again.
And they've obviously got practice going live on Instagram. I don't know if they've done TikTok.
Not that I'm aware of. Yeah.
But they've had their practice
Instagram for the announcements, and then the
suspicious
YouTube live stream was Paramore.
Which is wild because you're like, is this just another Taylor mastermind thing of like, why that show to practice? I mean, I'm sure it was another clown night. Every night's a clown night, but it's like, why that one? And was it just Taylor planting a little thing months instead of years, months in advance, being like, oh, don't worry,
Testing out the technology.
you will find out why. Everyone still talks about that. Like, remember that time they went live? Nothing happened. And then, yeah, when she brought it on YouTube, that's when I was like, Taylor Nation has been calling out live streamers like so much lately, like being like, and all y'all watching at home. And like, however, that time they were like, make sure to tune if you're tuning in live at home. And it's like
hand hearts from home.
Yeah, it's like, okay, like they support the live streamers. We love that.
So that is my theory for it, because Ryan was like, oh, I hope they're filming again tomorrow so it can be like more chaotic. I'm like, what if the first 2 nights were blocking / shooting footage that they did want to have continuity with for whatever it is? The third night, there could still be cameras. There will still be filming. I'm very confident of that. She's filmed the final night of every tour she's ever done. Everyone does.
And that would explain the repeat outfits, because even if it was just blocking, you wouldn't need to like, she could live her life unless it's
using it for something. But
that does lead me to my irrational thought of, I, of course, want to be delusional. And I was like, what if these repeat outfits are a red herring? And we're like, oh, of course, night 3, we've seen this show before. She's going to wear the same stuff. No, no, no. Like, what if all of the blocking was just for the live stream? Because
there's no way they're not using that footage in like a documentary or whatever.
I mean, maybe the doc, sure, but I know that after we've seen them on stage, there's been rumors of like an Eras Tour 2 or like with TTPD. And I remember being like, that seems like a lot, because we all know we're getting a doc. And so it makes more sense for her to use that footage to intersplice.
Yeah.
Which does make more sense though, because people were saying that during TTPD, it seemed like the camera crew wasn't like filming the whole thing or whatever. And like,
I feel like I saw conflicting stuff about that though. I feel like it just depended on if you were watching live streams or people's clips, or if you were there in person and actually getting the full view. But the overall point that I saw being made on social media, as people were starting to get a little upset about the repeat outfits and such, and oh, are we getting another movie? Not that another movie would be bad. We'd all love to have the set list as it is now as a movie. No one's going to complain about that. It's just maybe not what we were expecting. But
with the doc especially too, I think that's the most like, we're already getting a documentary, we know. And like, do we really need double that? Like, Taylor, you do too much.
But my point is, I saw someone say, if you really think Taylor's just going to repeat something that she's already done before, you're not thinking big enough.
Like in terms of the movie?
And yeah, right.
Yeah. Like doing...
Hence it's going to be a live stream or something like that. It's going to be something like more than what we're thinking that it is. Yeah.
Which would go back to the theory of me clowning and hoping that the footage, like live stream aside, was just for the documentary, not an Eras Tour movie, which wouldn't require, if it's not for the movie, then we technically wouldn't need 3 nights. If it's just to intersplice, like, you know, you want like 2 nights, continuity, outfits, just enough footage to intersplice, like we're good. And then the 3rd night, we're back to business, which is funny because up until today, I've been saying like stuff's going to happen on the 6th and the 7th, and then the 8th is going to be chill. And like, that's when it'll be like business as usual. Like we'll enjoy the final night. I'm like, wait, but that's literally actually what is happening, because it's felt so, at least to me, like disjointed the last 2 nights. Like, I don't know, it just feels different than it normally is. And I'm like, what if that's because of this plan, live stream, documentary, whatever. And then night 3, she's like, here's this outfit, here's this. Anyway, also here's this insanely good live stream.
So I guess we'll just have to wait to see what happens tomorrow / today. It's today. It's happening today. The Eras Tour ends today.
Yeah.
Are you ready for it? Thanks for clowning with us as you have been throughout the whole tour. We'll be back to see what happens after the final show in Vancouver. And if you want to see the recap of Vancouver Night 2 or Night 1 and all of our past recaps, those are available on our Patreon. The Vancouver Night 2 recap will be available sometime later in the day on December 8th. Thanks for watching.
Bye.